Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfszeit channel. Today with a very special topic, always special. The combat abilities and the PTR date finally. A very short fast explanation what the combat abilities are and when the PTR will come that you can test them. So on the 2nd of July, in round about 10 days you can test the combat abilities. The feedback form of StarVaults is open already, so it's linked down in the description, so please participate in this form. Because every feedback helps to make the game better and your opinion matters. And I think it's very necessary that everyone who's playing the game fill out the form. But before you fill out the form, let me give you some basic info. So first off, what are combat abilities? So combat abilities are the powerful new moves that almost every weapon type gets except lances. The bow has 7 special moves and every other weapon type having 3 special moves. There are also abilities that everyone can use. So even mages can use some abilities to get some advantages. So the whole update is not only for the melee combat. Now the question comes up, how to unlock abilities? This is pretty simple and straightforward. You can get them by the Taskmaster. So the Soldier Taskmaster for the melee fighters and the Hunter Taskmaster for the bows, daggers and spears, for example. As a short example, for the two-handed swords, there are 3 special moves: the hilt strike, the flurry, the hanging thrust. Just as a brief example, and you don't need to read the chapters in order, but each has a minimum weapon skill requirement. So for example, you want to perform flurry, then you're needing 50 plus. You want to perform hanging thrust, you need 100 at the skill. But the best thing on this is no hardcore grind necessary to unlock these. So the special moves and ability system is truly for everyone, and I'm so glad that the entry level to getting these skills are not an immense amount of gold or money and stuff, that everyone can just get these abilities. So the adrenaline system is very basic and straightforward. You're getting adrenaline by taking damage, dealing damage or killing someone or making fatality moves. You can only get a maximum of 10 adrenaline points, and you regenerate yourself to 1 adrenaline point when you are idle and doing nothing. But when you are idling for 10 seconds or longer, you will lose 1 adrenaline point. So you need to deal damage, take damage, parry or kill something to not lose the adrenaline point in the heat of combat. So StarVaults needs feedback especially for this, especially the gain rates, the decay speed, and if 10 points are ideal or too much or too less. But I guess we can all say more when we can actually try it on the PTR. Now comes the part where a few people are getting rage modes and a few people are just, okay, that's great. The Clade-Specific adrenaline bonuses. So humans, pretty straightforward. Adrenaline decays 3 times slower, great for reset-based duels. So as a human, you will lose 1 adrenaline point each 30 seconds instead of each 10 seconds. The Alvarins can passively store up 2 adrenaline points. This is ideal for reactive gameplay. And Oghmirs can gain more adrenaline from taking damage. And the Thursar having +1 maximum adrenaline, so they have 11 in total and extra gain from dealing damage. I mean, with the extra abilities, this all sounds awesome, but how can I manage and equip that? So to explain the UI a little bit. So you will get 5 active slots, so you can basically switch between 5 abilities. The most vital info on this is when you switch the weapons, this also switches instantly. So you can switch between 2 weapons and having more or less the pool of 10 abilities available. And the shared abilities you can see here can be used by any weapon type. But this also raised the question in the community, manual versus auto ability. There are some auto abilities where you can click and boom, the moves are triggering themselves and everything works. There are also the manual abilities where, for example, you initiate the ability and then you can attack from left, right, up, down. Some abilities even having 4 chained attacks, so 4 chained hits in a row. And StarVaults want to use this system a lot in combat, so that basically means that we all have to learn dozens of animations, which makes it also a little bit easier for people who are not talented in PvP in Mortal, but they can learn through exercise and getting better. Because with special move patterns and stuff, I guess it will be easier, I'm not sure. But the most interesting thing that a lot of people are excited about are the status effects and the ability properties. Because nearly every ability has some hidden values to that. Because for every ability you have to raise the question, can it be parried? Can it be used while sprinting? Can it be used while mounted? And what's the turn rate during the animation? Because for some abilities all of these points are true and for some abilities not. I guess for some abilities also for balance reasons, but we will see in the PTR how this plays out. This directly leads to the debuffs, so this is a topic on its own. Having debuffs like bleeding, armor piercing, mana drain, limping, which basically means slowing down. Then sapped halves the stamina mana regeneration. This could be a counter for the mage divers. Dazed halts their mana regeneration. This could be the counter for mages. And durability damage. So this is also very interesting. That you can focus on killing the weapon of the opponent, which is also very interesting. But of course, not every weapon can do such debuffs. But for example, some weapons are more prone to that. So this is the current baseline of the Adrenaline special moves system. And StarVaults time frame here is they will give us the PTR. We will give them more feedback. And the community will help to adjust the balance of the system. But please don't judge too early because they are still working on stuff there. There's also a lot of broken animations and syncing errors and fixes that they need to do, and they are currently working on that. Henrik also confirmed that this system will also work as a Zerg counter more or less, because you will get more adrenaline when you are outnumbered. But this sounds very interesting on paper. This is also very confusing for me to even hearing that in theory, but maybe it works. We will see if it works on the PTR or not. And I really hope for the best. And I mean, StarVaults is working really hard on these special abilities and on these special moves, also on the territory control overhaul, which they use all the feedback of the community to improve stuff there, and the invasion system. So I'm really hyped for the reckoning patch, I must say. But yeah, it really boils down to your personal preference as always, because sometimes there are changes in this game where you think to yourself, oh no, I waited for that, I waited for this, for these specific mechanics and stuff. But the thing is, the baseline needs to be correct, and with that new combat system, I hope that the baseline is correct for the most people that want to play the game or are playing currently the game, because it looks a lot more dynamic, and it's also, I guess, a lot better for new players to engage with such a combat system instead of the old spinning one. I mean, the old spinning one is still possible, but I guess it will be not viable. So StarVaults wants to really push the new movement and the new ability system in the combat out there. Of course, some veterans who trained for years for the spinning and stuff are maybe a little bit mad and pissed, but this is just a normal way how our game evolves, in my opinion. Because I also think that the more people, the more population we have, the more fun we can have in the whole game. And changing the combat to something that is more fun and more engaging for everyone is, I guess, the right way to go. So what is your personal opinion about the whole adrenaline system, about the current way StarVaults takes? And are you looking forward to the Reckoning patch? Are you looking forward to this combat patch? Because I guess shortly after Reckoning there will be a huge marketing campaign about the whole game and stuff. Just to throw in my personal opinion a little bit here, I think it also needs further refinement before you can do a big marketing on this. But it also depends on a personal viewpoint. But when I'm looking at the high expectations a lot of gamers have today for a lot of games, that is exactly where I see potential problems. But this is something for a completely other video. So anyway, I hope you are also hyped about the combat abilities like I am. So please leave a like and subscribe, would be really awesome, by the way. And special thanks to all the supporters, of course. Carmel, Lucario, Mr. Minerva, Demtire, Dronus, Paternax, Cologne, Bulldog, and all the others, of course. So never forget to combat abilities hard. I mean party hard. And see you all next time. Goodbye.